All right. Hello again, Avengers, and welcome to another exciting Daily December. This is Daily December number 18. Uh, I don't know what in the hell I got, but starting, I think it was Monday, I just started feeling horrible, being like massively sick to my stomach. I couldn't. Let's put it this way. I couldn't sleep because every time I would fall asleep, I would wake up like just about to retch. That's how sick to my stomach I was. So fought through it Monday. Fought through it to Tuesday to get my in-depth review out, which not only has been very popular, but the people that make Break commented on my in-depth review, which can only mean that I am now a super famous TTRPG YouTuber. I mean, there's nothing else that I could. There's no other conclusion I could come to other than the fact that I am the most famous TTRPG YouTuber ever, because I released my in-depth review on Tuesday and I had a reply by today. So obviously, guys, I just wanted to let you know I'm super famous. Always, by the way, if you guys ever make the mistake of watching my content again, I'm always very, very happy to have the people that I do the reviews on actually comment on it. The dudes over at Renegade that do Essence 20 on a fairly regular basis will comment on my in-depth reviews because they're great people and they make a great game. So I'm just super, super happy that the Break folks were willing to listen to me yap about their game for 2 hours. That being said, I am just so exhausted right now. Like, being sick is just not fun in general. And trying to do this whole daily December thing while also being sick has not been fun. And yeah, oh man. I will, I will admit, doing more in-depth reviews has been, I'm not sure if I want to go as far as saying fun, but it has been, I guess, creatively rewarding because I'm getting through backlogs. Like, I've been meaning to make a break TTRPG. Excuse me. I've been meaning to make a break TTRPG review for almost a year now because it came out, like I said, it actually came out to where regular people could get it back in January of last year. And this just gave me an excuse to do it. And then getting through my Essence 20 backlog, and I'm going to be doing, I haven't decided yet if next week is going to be the Summoner class for Draw Steel, or instead of doing the Artificer, Forge of the Artificer for D&D, because again, I'm just not really doing much D&D. I own it, I've read through it. It's the Artificer for 5.5. Woo! There was some interesting changes, but not enough that it would feel any different from playing the old version of the Artificer. So instead of doing that, I'm going to be doing an in-depth review of the Phantasy Star TTRPG, because that finally came out after like a year and a half of them going, coming out soon. But only the digital version. The physical version, we still don't know where it is. But yeah, I've been super pumped about that for a while. Yeah, excited about doing that. And then the news show. The news show has been a lot of fun to like. So, rewind back to the genesis of what is Trainer Jody. Um, when I first started getting into YouTube, I can't remember what it was that kind of turned me on to YouTube. Um, but this was, way back in like 2010, 2009, somewhere around there. Is when I started kind of getting into YouTube stuff. I think it was probably uh, Geek and Sundry, which I don't think happened until like 2012. So before that would have been like gaming YouTubers and stuff like that. But the thing that that really got me into YouTube was this kind of community that doesn't exist anymore. The YouTuber community doesn't exist. And it's not because, these people are evil and only in this for money. No, it's because YouTube is just so massive. Like a really good example. There was a huge controversy at the Streamer Awards. Is it the Streamer Awards? Yes, because the Streamies is the other one. So, at the Streamer Awards, and if you're not aware of what the Streamer Awards is, effectively, the Streamer Awards is when LA-based Twitch streamers give themselves awards. And a lot of people go, well, no, it's meant to show you excellence. Okay, then riddle me this. Why were all of the people that won people that are either friends or somehow like within 1 or 2 degrees separation of Cutie Cinderella, who's the person that runs it? Here's a better one. Why has Critical Role never been nominated, despite the fact that Critical Role regularly gets more revenue than most of these other people? We found out in 2021 they were the highest earning channel on Twitch. They've never been acknowledged. You wanna know why? And again, this is not me like attacking the Streamer Awards or anything like that. It's because Twitch and YouTube and things like that, they're so large that there are parts of it that if you don't interact with it, you will have no idea that it exists. Like D&D YouTube. Right now, D&D YouTube is on this kick where Dungeons and Dragons YouTube is dying for like the 27th time. If you are not specifically keyed into D&D YouTube, you probably had no idea it was dying. But was it Professor Dungeon Masters made a video about it, and Bob Worldbuilder made a video debunking it, and a bunch of other creators have been talking about how, no, it's not a real thing, but it does get people views, and that's kind of the point. But if you don't interact with that part of YouTube, you would have no idea that there's anything wrong. If you don't interact with like VTubers, then you would have no idea the nonsense stuff that's going on over there, or Book Talk, which isn't even on YouTube; it's on TikTok, but it bleeds over onto YouTube, or the various like kind of independent music scene on YouTube, or stand-up comedy on YouTube. Like, there are all these little subgenres that now are so large that you can spend the entirety of your time on YouTube in like 1 or 2 little subgenres and have no idea that anything outside of them exists. And the algorithm has evolved in a way that it wants to show you more things that it thinks you're interested in. So it will do everything it can to shove you further into the things that you're already interested in, as opposed to showing you things that you've never seen before. Which on early YouTube, that was the For You page. Like, if we talk about something like YouTube Rewind, the early YouTube Rewinds, the reason people liked them so much is they would recognize most of the people in the YouTube Rewind. Then every so often they'd see someone's like, oh my God, I didn't know that was cool. And then they would find a new thing to look at. Now, I think the last YouTube Rewind was like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, it's been a while. And one of the things that everybody posts on there is like, I don't know any of these people. So going back to talking about me, Uh, the thing that really started getting me interested in YouTube was this kind of YouTuber community that existed, where they all had this kind of passion for kind of creativity and creation in general, and they wanted to kind of push themselves to do different things and talk about the things that they were passionate about. And that was the thing that turned me on to Geek and Sundry. Was the whole point of Geek and Sundry was let your nerd flag fly. You know, talk about the things that you hyperfixate on. You know, be proud of the fact that, you know, you can name any Power Rangers show simply from hearing like 5 seconds of the intro. Um, so yeah, like that really got me excited. And then they did the vlogger search for Geek and Sundry. I'm like, oh my god, I could be a Geek and Sundry. That would be amazing. And it didn't happen for very, very good reasons. I was not ready to be a YouTuber at that point, and I don't know what would have happened if I had made it. To be perfectly honest, like my life would be very, very different today. Which I believe is true about most of the Geek and Sundry vloggers. Like, I don't think any of them like became massive, massive YouTubers. Some of them have kind of disappeared into the ether. Some of them are doing really cool things. Like Akeem, if I remember correctly, Akeem does hosting for a channel. If I remember correctly, does something around in that area. Kiri is now a published author. Dale has gotten really into the TTRPG space, and she's on the Ghost File Games podcast on Mondays, and still does YouTube, but also does other cool stuff. Hangs out with Matt Colville, just because. I'm trying to think some of the other people. Vaughn and Caitlin has this entire music career in I can't remember where she's from. But yeah, she has this amazing, crazy, awesome music career. So I guess she kind of did make it big. But yeah, so I mean, like, if I'd become a Geek and Sundry vlogger, I have no idea what that'd change. But yeah, now that I'm here, and I've been doing this for like 14 years. God, that's terrifying. So anyway, way back when I first started getting interested in this, one of the people that I followed religiously was Dodger. Press start to continue. Dodger. She's Thorn now. I can't remember what her Lay Lawson. There we go. Dodger Lawson. Dodger Lay Lawson. I used to watch Dodger's news show all the time, and I really, really enjoyed the Co-optional podcast. I loved it to death. Rest in peace, Total Biscuit. You will always be missed. Yeah, and so I really, really thought her news show was really, really fascinating. And then I also watched things like, I was a big fan of what was it called? Philip DeFranco's SourceFed. I loved SourceFed. And so I'd watch the SourceFed videos all the time in those kind of news type shows. I'm like, oh man, I want to become a host someday. Like, that's what I want to do. Because most of my favorite YouTubers did some version of hosting. And so, yeah, it always been something that I'd wanted to do. And I tried it here and there every so often. Like, I used to have a show on here called Friday Feature Focus. But it wasn't really a hosting gig. It was more of, it was significantly more structured geeking out about people that I thought were cool. And then I had Lore Explorer over on the All for Geek Alliance, which one of these days I should probably bring back because it was a super cool show. Yeah, now that I'm doing this news show, first of all, it is not nearly as difficult as some people will lead you to believe. But on the other hand, it's still a decent amount of work. I luck out a bit because Excuse me. I look out a bit because of my particular entertainment training. Specifically, I was not only was I an actor, but I was also a musician, and I did do a little bit of hosting. I hosted a talent show in college, and I had my own. I had a couple different bands that I was in, little like jazz combos and stuff like that, and so I would very regularly have to kind of introduce groups and interact with an audience and that, and then also from my experience with improvisation and things like that. So for someone like me, I literally when I set up the show, I have an outline that I've created, and all I do is I just plug in basically the titles of the things that I'm going to talk about after reading the article or whatever it is that I'm going to be talking about. I just plug the titles into this outline, and then I keep the outline on. I have a 3-screen setup. I have one there, I have one there, and I have a big 50-inch TV here that I normally will split up into 4 different windows. So technically, you could say that I have a 6-monitor setup because this one turns into 4, but and so I'll have my outline there. I'll generally have the websites open on this one, and then if I have and then I have my OBS on this screen down here. And yeah, so I don't actually have to script anything out. It would probably be better if I did script it, especially if I went like the full like 9 yards and went and got me like a teleprompter or something like that, so I could look into the camera and read it off, which is what most places do. There actually used to be this kind of joke for SourceFed, because when they would show the bloopers, when they would screw up, they'd go up to the camera and they'd do this, and everyone's like, "What are you doing? Why do you do that to the camera?" Well, it's because they had a teleprompter, and they used a program on, I think it was an iPad, that just scrolled the text and everything. And so in order for it to go backwards so they could reshoot, they would literally just drag their finger on the iPad to scroll it back up. But people didn't realize that's what they were doing, because a lot of people back then, I'm not sure how many people understand now, didn't understand how a teleprompter works. Literally, like the very basics of a teleprompter is it's just a slanted piece of glass that is angled in a way that something flat here, like you have the glass like this, and then you have a flat thing right here, so like this. Whatever is right here will be reflected by the glass directly at you. But the camera behind it, because the glass is on an angle, it's still see-through. So the camera can't, not only does the camera not see the glass, it also doesn't see the text scrolling. But what you see from here, just because of how angles and light works, is it looks like the words are just scrolling up. And that's how a teleprompter works. It's remarkably simple to technology compared to the nonsense stuff that we have now. It's the reason they've existed for as long as they have. It's incredibly simple to create your own teleprompter. So yeah, would my news show be better if I used a teleprompter and I scripted it out and I edited things? Absolutely. But my brain won't let me do that. So what I'm doing now is what my brain does, and I don't think it's a particularly bad show. Again, due to my experience just being on stage and public speaking and the things like that, I can improvise my way through a lot of dialogue and not make it unwatchable. Whereas there are some people that need a script for coherent thoughts to come out for a number of different reasons. I'm just lucky in the fact that I've had the training and experience that I don't need it to sound, I don't want to say good, but to be comprehensible. There, I used the word twice. So yeah. Like I said, being sick and not being able to get out of bed for a day, and even today, like I didn't get out of bed until like 5 or 6. No, maybe 5 o'clock, because I felt so horrible. I still don't feel great now, but um, yeah, I've had a lot of time to kind of think over and think about the things that I'm doing and all that stuff. And yeah, it I don't want to say it's been fun because it's not really it's been fun. It's been kind of fulfilling a childhood fantasy almost, despite the fact that I didn't have the fantasy until I was in my 20s. You know, it was the idea of, oh, that's what this is like if I had gone down this path. Because again, I remember watching, again, I used to watch Dodger all the time, both her channel and then when she did the Polaris stuff. I watched SourceFed all the time, loved it to death. Used to watch Philip DeFranco. Not particularly fond of his stuff anymore because he kind of went crazy. And if you still like Philip DeFranco, that's perfectly fine. You are more than happy to enjoy his content. I just don't anymore. And then there was a show called Checkpoint that was done by Loading Ready Run, whom I found out about due to what was it? Penny Arcade. Penny Arcade had this reality TV show called Strip Search, which was about finding the next great comic strip artist. It is fantastic. I've talked about it on the channel before. It is fantastic. It is one of the best reality TV shows you will ever watch. It still exists on YouTube. The entirety of the thing is on YouTube. Watch it from beginning to end and then do it again. It's that good. But Loading Ready Run was the production company that did it. Yeah, so I started watching Checkpoint because that was their news show. And so, yeah, I watched all of these different news shows. And I used to watch the news as well. Back when the news was a thing where, like, after primetime TV, like, 10 o'clock news would come up with Richard, I have plastic hair. And Lucille, I always smile. Just in, water is wet and the wind blows. More on this later. You know, I mean, so yeah, it's been interesting actually doing it and keeping to a schedule. And kind of learning and changing as I go. Again, I think last week's episode was relatively good. I don't think I should win any awards for it, but compared to the first week, I think there was noticeable improvement, and I'm hoping this week will also show noticeable improvement. And who knows? I have no idea if I'm going to keep doing it or not. Again, the whole point of Daily December is just trying new things and seeing what I can and can't do. The solo RPG series is still going to be a thing. I wanted really badly to do it yesterday, especially since, again, the hope for the next episode of that series is not I'm going to run a solo RPG. I'm just going to sit down and on camera teach myself how to play this game again. We're going to create a new character and we're going to just go through every step one after another. It's not going to look polished or anything like that. It's literally just going to be me learning with hopefully somebody watching. So yeah, that's a thing. But I learned very, very quickly that I couldn't handle everything that I had planned to do this year. Who knows? Maybe next year I'll be able to do something different. The break people have already said, yes, use break to do your Mana Series game. I'm like, I won't decide that until like August. But maybe, who knows? A lot of things kind of change whether or not I want to, or what I want to do for my December campaign. I still want to run a Dragon Age campaign and just pretend that the Veilguard doesn't exist, despite the fact that the game itself is fine. It's a fun game. But so many of the decisions they made plot-wise were just bad. And it could have been an amazing game. Like, Inquisition was an amazing game. Veilguard was just not. It was still fun for the most part, but it wasn't. Anyway. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. Tomorrow will be more news. I'm actually, I have to do everything I can to make sure that this sickness doesn't get any worse, because there are two big news stories that I'm definitely, well, one really big news story that I'm definitely covering, and then another one that I want to cover, and then other things in there. So yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right. Bye bye.